everybody. Hi, guys. No comments as per usual. Hang on. Okay. Hi, my friends. So, can I see comments? Yes, I can see comments. I'm on the right page. I'm not quite sure. I'm getting an error message. Okay, I can see a heart. I think I'm live. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Hi, Katrin. Okay, yes, I can see people. I hope you can see me too. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining me. My name is Angela and I'm the owner and creative energy from Elfen and Helden. I'm a primary retailer for Dixieville over here in Frankfurt in Germany. So welcome, welcome. Hi, Deb. Thank you for joining. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Jill. Happy you're all there. Thank you, guys. Hi, Becky. Guys, when you join me, just let me know where you're watching from. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I will see I can answer them straight away. Otherwise, I will come back later and check that out. If it's very important, just repost your question if I miss it, so I can do that during the live. Hi to Italy. Guys, I'm so happy that you're all there. So we are working on this on Laguna, as the beautiful color pure ocean is basically promising. This is the color basically on there. I'll have to have a sip of coffee. Houston, Texas, family. There's quite some people from Texas here. That's good. Guys, it is 9 p.m. over here, so it is already in the evening. So good evening to you guys. Hello, Anja. Hi to Albuquerque. So we're all over the place. The colors for this beautiful piece are Pure Ocean, which is the main color. We're going to have a little bit of the peacock on the, to age a little bit. Hello, liebe Vera. Hi, Amy. And we're having a little bit of Dixieville blue just to put like a little lighter tone into the middle, but just a tiny little bit, because my customer, she is not into all those fancy things I usually do. So we're going to keep it very, yes, how do you say that? Subtle, so that, it's not like flashy or something like that. So, but as this is pretty intricate, it's not that easy just to, when you want to do a little bit of a blending, mix it in there. You don't want to have it too rough, not too much on there. And if you use a normal brush and you just go over it with normal blending, you're not really hitting like those low spots, that's what I want to do. And this is basically what we are working on today. And therefore, I'm having several techniques doing that. Either I take a spatula and I place the paint in certain areas. You can have it really rough. You can use a spatula for that. That's not what I want to do. I'm going to blend it in so it mixes into the pure ocean. Or you use like an artist brush or something like that. That works beautifully also. So, buenas noches, España. Bonsoir. Bonsoir, Wilfried. So, hallo Ute. Hi, mein Hase. So, okay, I'm going to bring you a little closer because I want you to see what it's going on there. You can see all those beautiful, it's very intricate. It's like loads of details, so we don't want to get it too rough at the end. Hello to Fort Worth. Hallo, liebe Silke. Ja, immer. So I think, hi to Bulgaria. Guys, that's great, you're all there. It's going to be a little bit distressed at the end, and we're going to have a little bit of dark wax also on there. I've got the dark wax in from Dixieville in brown, working with it. So thank you, Robin. So peacock is like a little bit darker than the pure ocean, so it's not going to be too white also. This is this is basically like a sideboard, there's it's like a shelving system inside. It's got like you can pull this out and can stand something on top there also. So this is a pretty beautiful piece, I guess. Pretty beautiful. Well, that's me being German. Apologies. So I'm opening up my paints first. And Pure Ocean I've used earlier, so that's already mixed. Chalk Mineral Paints by Dixie Belle. They are VOC free. They are, as I said, chalk mineral paints. They're VOC free, environmental friendly. So especially at this time of the year, it is winter over here. It's got a bit warmer, but even so, I appreciate not having to have all the windows ripped open for working with that. Hi, Vaklina. Thank you for joining me. So, thank you, Robin. That's sweet. So, I'm going to mix the peacock. As I said, mix them up nicely so that all the ingredients, they're water-based also, you know, so that, to Florida, that's nice. Hi, Nina. So that's, that all the ingredients are mixed together and all the benefits of those, of the paint is basically gripping, so to say. And the nice thing about the chalk mineral paints by Dixie Belle is, as I said, they are VOC free. They have a built-in primer, they have a built-in sealer, so you don't have to seal it. You can, but you don't have to. While I always, you know, I do seal my pieces because I want to make sure that everything is like, all the details are put on there, that they, you know, stay, you know, that nothing can happen to them. Okay, so I'm putting a little bit of the Pure Ocean on there first in those areas I'm working. And I've got my Mr. Bottle from Dixie Belle here also because I want to blend those into each other. I don't want to have it too rough. I want to have the edges a little bit of shading, but not too much. So I'm misting my brush also. The Mr. Bottle by Dixie Belle, it makes like a very fine mist. So you don't develop any drops even when you know, spray on your project. So as I said, I'm going to put some of the, just like a tiny little bit of Pure Ocean on here. On the project first before I come in with my peacock on those areas. There's, you know, there's various ways of doing this. I have this in my mind what I want to do with that. Because she doesn't want to have it too, you know, too many colors and not too obvious. So we're going to work just in sections to see. So all those gorgeous details. So now I'm going to come in. I'm going to show you the different ways you can do it. You can either go with your spatula and get some paint on your spatula, and then you can just offload it. You can just offload it gentle on here, you know, don't scrape it, just very gentle. You can do it either that way, because we don't want to have like too much on there. You can get like a very textured and rough finish if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You know, I don't want to, so I'm grabbing my my brush with the Pure Ocean, and I'm just going to move this in here now. So you can, you know, the problem is when you use one of those bigger brushes and put it on there, you have too much of the peacock, you know, and I just want to have like tiny little bit in there, you know, I don't want to have too much in there. The second way to do that is what I sometimes also do is I use, you know, one of those artist brushes, but this is already, you can see how much is like offloading in here. This might be already too much. Don't want to have too much. Spread that out a bit. So get that in those edges. And then I'm gonna come in with my Pure Ocean brush again. Put a little bit of Pure Ocean on there. And then I'm moving it in there. So it's like blending. I don't want to have it rough. I want to have it smooth. I want to have a smooth finish on there. And I think I prefer the spatula. Just tiny, gentle. As I said, you can get like beautiful. You can, you know, do those scraping things. You can get like beautiful, create beautiful effects like that. But that's not what we are going for this time. This is supposed to be pretty smooth, pretty smooth. So that's the reason I'm using water also. To get those in here. So if this would be, you know, you can see that when we move to the side, you can see, you know, you don't have to use a spatula or something like that. If you have like a flat area, it's much easier. Isn't it, Michelle? Yeah, you can. I mean, you can use all your tools in thousands of different ways, you know. So, blending, dein Angstgegner. Don't be scared, you know. It's, you know, just try it. Just a tiny area there. Or as I said, you can also use small brush to get it in here. You know, if you use a brush which is too big, you're not getting in all those areas. You know, you're not really aging those areas. I want to have like the peacock in those corners also. So this area, I think, you know, I'm just gonna go down here, and I'm gonna come in with my Pure Ocean again. So this is just like a tiny hint. You can hardly see it. It's just probably seeing it better on screen than I do on here. And by using the mister bottle, as the paint is water-based, you can you activating, if the paint is dried a little bit. Thank you, Linda. Yes, I love the blues also. It is basically reactivating the paint even if it's drying a little bit. Anya, no, I didn't use any boss on this piece. Just a little bit. You can see how detailed that piece is. It's got like loads of crevices and stuff like that. So I'm just basically putting that in here. It looks gorgeous like this, you know. I wouldn't even mind having it like that. Just some of the bit of water. Pure Ocean brush. So this gets like a very smooth finish, just like a tiny little bit of the darker shade in there. And yeah, I didn't use any gloss on this piece. This piece is wood, and I've only cleaned it. I've cleaned it nicely. I've cleaned it with white lightning. So guys, be patient. Maybe we'll have it in Europe soon. So just be patient. You never know. So I hope you do. So this was cleaned with white lightning, and I checked because it was pretty dark wood. I wasn't sure if it might be a bleeder. So if you're not sure, you either try on, you know, underneath or on the back or something like that if it's pure wood. Those areas are usually the plain wood without any top coats or something like that. You can try in those areas when you take like a damp cloth and you wipe over it. And if there's like this reddish stuff coming out, it's, you know, it's pretty much going to be a bleeder. Also, if you know it's pine wood, it's mahogany or cherry or something like that, they're mostly bleeders also. And what I've done with this piece also on an area, I've just scuff sanded it a little down, and I tried that with a wet cloth, and you know, nothing came through. And also, you know, underneath at those feet and stuff like that, I've tried it, and that was fine. So I thought this is going to be all right. I didn't use any gloss on this piece. You know, if you're not sure, a coat of Boss underneath doesn't harm anyway. You know, it's sometimes feels nicer for the paint to go on. And Spicy Eyes Navarro. I send it down a dresser. Do I need to prime it before using chalk paint? Janice, no. I mean, you don't have to prime it unless it is a bleeder. If it's a bleeder and you use a light color, I would recommend using Boss, which is a stain blocker underneath. But if it's normal wood like this piece, there's nothing else you have to do. Clean it. It's got to be clean. That's the main thing. Now, so it's a magenta color. Magenta is pink. So the wood is pink, and when you go over it with a wet cloth, is there still some reddish residue coming out, or not? Because that might be. So I'm just going to go with my brush now a little bit into those details. So those areas, and dark pink. Yeah, dark pink. The wood, or is it painted in dark pink, or is the wood has got the wood a pinky undertone? So there's a difference, you know, if it was painted pink or if the wood is pink. So I'm just going around those edges with my artist brush now, keeping it damp, and I'm going to come in again with my Pure Ocean brush and just blending that in. And I'm working in sections here because I don't want the peacock to dry, because I want to blend it in basically straight away. And this is just darkening the edges around. So that works in this area nicer with that brush. Got the paint on the floor now also. Well, if the paint will be dark, there won't be any bleed through. If you're painting in black or something like that, so that's no problem. I wouldn't bother. If I paint light colors or very bright colors, if I would have chosen, if this would have been a bleeder and I would have painted it in this turquoise, I would have put some a stain blocker. I would have put under boss in between, because I don't want to compromise basically this the color. But if I'm painting in black, got my pure ocean, move it over there. In those areas, I'm swirling it just to, and still also when I'm blending in these areas, I am hardly touching the surface. I'm keeping it damp. And I'm just like very ever so gently moving over those areas. And I mean, this is the mini brush. This is one of the synthetic brushes. Hallo, liebe Kerstin. Hi, Betty. Thank you for joining me. This is one of the synthetic brushes by Dixie Belle. Such a difficult word for a dumb person. So you can see it's just like this tiny little bit of shading. It's not too much. That's basically what we're going for. So I'm having lately a lot of projects where you can just assume that there's something there. So that was a bit much, doesn't matter. Can't get that still off screen. Hang on. There we go. There we go. Just around those edges. Right into those edges, and then I'm going to come over with my it's my pure ocean again, and blend it all together. So where is it? Dampening my brush also. And I'm just moving over it ever so gently. And this is basically giving it like a nice little bit of shading, but not too much. Just like a tiny little bit. So we don't want to have it too wide at the end. Use some water to move that. So here we go. So gonna have in these areas, I'm gonna come in with my spatula just to offload in those low areas a little bit of the peacock. So that's it. There we go. Then do the same thing at the bottom there. And this is basically let's concentrate a little bit. Do it gently, don't scrape it too much, because depending how long the paint is already on there, you may scrape it off. That's what we don't want to do. As you can have like a lovely matte effect by just scraping the paint on like that. We'll have a project in the next times just doing this. So now I'm going to come in, pure ocean. Move over it. So here. A lot of details, this piece. A lot of details. So then we have those areas up here. Just uploading a little bit. So I want to have it right into those edges. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. And you can basically put it pretty much just there where you want to have it. This is much, the spatula like this. So. Go. So especially when you have like intricate pieces like this, it can work nicely. So bending, basically just by moving the brush over those paints, it moves those together. It's already a pretty subtle like shading around those areas. Betty, this piece is for a customer and she doesn't want to have it too fancy. So we're going to do a little bit of distressing after it has dried. And we're going to work with some brown wax on there. So this is it's not going to be too fancy. So it's going to be beautiful, but not with my usual gilding waxes and mousses and stuff like that. So this is going to be chalk mineral paints and a little bit of dark wax for aging. And this piece has been painted also from the back because this house it is going into, it's a very old house. And this house has a little bit there. This house is around the, I think 1600, something like that, she said. And so there's like no wall is straight. So this is why the size of this piece is pretty perfect for that. But it can well be that some of the back will be shown somewhere. So we've painted the back of this piece also. I usually don't paint the back of my pieces unless they're completely ugly, but with this one we did. So you can see all those, there's like loads of edges and stuff like that with this piece. So this is fun. This is fun, guys. Going around those areas, detailing those. And for those who are scared of blending, this would be something perfect also, you know, because if it's not, the blending is not perfect on here, it's absolutely no problem. So I'm just moving my brush basically with those edges to get that peacock in there, and I'm just taking some of the edges with me. So it's mostly staying in the low spots. There's also different ways of doing that. You could do a glaze with the paints also, and work it that way. But still, I wanted to move it a little into each other, a little bit more of a blending into each other instead of just like detailing the low spots. So doing the same in those. If you look at the floor, it's a complete mess underneath me. I'm using 3 colors. I'm using Pure Ocean, which is like the main color. I'm using Peacock, which is for the detailing. And I've got Dixie Belle Blue, which we're going to use just like a tiny little bit in this middle here in a second also. So 3 colors. Hi Sue, I missed you too. Thank you, Betty. So, okay, let's see. Just going, especially when you have like straight edges. I sometimes don't know if what I'm talking about really makes sense, but you know what I mean. If you have like straight edges, like those areas here, you can work pretty good with your spatula. Getting it in here, loading it, and so probably a little bit much in this area. Come in with my, and obviously this brush with the Pure Ocean is pretty much contaminated with the Peacock, which is no problem. So basically, so I'm moving my mini brush along those edges where I've just use a little bit more water. Those chalk mineral paints, one of the great benefits is that they dry really, really quick. So up and down. So this is ever such a gentle shading in those details. So in this middle, I just want to have it like a tiny little bit of lighter. So I'm just gonna come in with my Dixie Belle Blue, just a dash. Just a dash. And again, I'm going direct with my Pure Ocean over it. Ever so gentle, up and down, sideways, up and down, sideways, a little bit of water. And again, this is just to give it ever such a light, tiny, lighter area. In the middle. So this is just like a tiny highlight. Who do you want to ask some questions? Of course, I mean, you can ask me questions. Thank you, Sue. Anytime, any questions you want to ask. I'm happy to help. So what's the time? 35 minutes. Okay. So this is when you do those detailing, for example. You know, if you want to blend on, so you can see like those tiny, those shadings. There's a little bit too much here, so I'm just gonna come in a little more with my Pure Ocean to soften that out a little bit. Also here. So, and this works very nice or very easy with the chalk mineral paints by Dixie Belle. This is like ever such a beautiful shading now. It's not so when you go to the sides, let me see which side we can move to without me everything dropping. Oops, yeah. Especially not dropping the so we have, for example, there we go. So if you have now this top piece here, hang on, I'm gonna bring you up. So you can do the same thing up here. You can work with the spatula to get like the same effect. Just wanna have like a tiny little bit in here. Tiny little bit on there. Just to get like a little bit of shading up here. Can put it on with a brush, but I feel with a brush I'm getting too much in those areas, so I'm just placing it with my spatula for now. Grab my mini brush, dampen that, get that a little wet, and I'm gonna go right over it to move that in there. A little bit more Pure Ocean. I had to check if I have the right color. So now in this area there can be a tiny little bit more of the Pure Ocean, but still I just want to have like a little bit on the edges, so I don't want to, I'm just gonna lay it down like this. Also for this you can do it in all different ways. Tiny little bit. Pure Ocean right over it. It's just giving you the shading of those areas. If you want to have some more, this is basically, you can see there's just like a little bit on those edges here. That's what we want to do. Don't want to have much more. Have a tiny little bit on those, on this edge going down here. There's my brush. You can also work in sections. Just get that on here. A bit on those areas there. If you want to have more, you can obviously work more into it. I just want to have a tiny little bit so you can have, see, just like a little. I'm going right over with my Pure Ocean brush now. You can see how basically almost instantly, without any great effort, those two colors move into each other. So there's just ever such a gentle shading around those edges there. Thank you, Betty. Ja, genau, Ute. Die machen Lust auf Urlaub. So the whole world is on lockdown, and those are holiday colors. That's probably why, we all love those at the moment. So do that right to the bottom, and here also we're going to have in the middle just like a tiny little bit of the Dixie Belle blue. That down here, down there. And the main thing is when you, if you do bigger blending, not just like those tiny areas like I'm doing at the moment. Water is your best friend. Water is your best friend. It activates basically also your paint coat underneath, and is helping therefore that those paints move easy into each other. You can see how easy that is, for those who are hesitating doing some blending. This is easy way of doing it. Just practice on a board or something like that, if you're worried. If you're worried doing it on your project, just do it on the board. So I want to have a little bit of just a tiny dash in the middle. A little brighter, so I'm putting some of the Pure Ocean on here first. And now I'm going to come in a tiny little bit with the Dixie Belle blue. This is just going to be a little bit of a highlight. You could blend it in or start blending it in with the brush, The Dixie Belle blue is on. But I just want to have a tiny little bit, so I am using my Pure Ocean brush. So water. I'm going across. I'm going up and down. And I'm hardly touching the surface. And I don't even need a third brush, like a neutral brush. You can use like a neutral brush with no paint on there whatsoever to move that into each other. But if you use some water, get a tiny little bit of the Dixie blue. That's it. Hardly touching the surface. I always say it's like almost like butterfly, butterfly kisses. So. That's it. So you can, just add like, you hardly see it, there's like 3 colors. So this is basically what we want to have on this piece. Yes, Betty, a nice light hand. This is correct. This is basically the main thing to it. That's why I'm saying it. It's like butterfly kisses, butterfly kisses we used to do just with our eyelashes. So this is basically yeah, how you use your brush. You know, you're hardly touching the surface. You keep the paint moist, and then you have like ever so soft shading. So, my friends, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you like the colors. I love those colors. I love the blues anyway. You know that I have. Oh, what's dropping? That's it. So, and this is like taking shape. Also, my floor is taking shape. It's pretty blue. It is pretty blue. Subtle touches. That's right. Okay, my friends, it is almost 50 minutes. Time always flies. I'm sorry, I was taking up your time. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Angela. I'm the owner and creative energy from Elfen and Helden. I'm a premier retailer for Dixie-Bell over here in Frankfurt in Germany. I'm so happy you joined me. If you watch replay, put hashtag replay into the comments, and even if you have some questions, put it in there also. If you want to shop the products, my guys, go over to the Dixie-Bell page, check for your local retailer. As I said, I'm one over here in Frankfurt in Germany, but we also have more retailers over here and also throughout Europe. So please always check for your local retailer. This is very important for each one of us, so don't miss them out. And to you, my sweetheart, Kerstin, ich hoffe, es gefällt dir bis jetzt. Guys, you take care, and I see you next week, Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me. Nighties. Nighty, nighty. You're so sweet, Betty. Thank you.